Hi, it's Cammy. Charlie talks football.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Charlie Talks Football. It's full time. Newcastle lose 4-0 to Manchester City, and there's not really many words out there to describe this game because the first goal was incredibly easy. I don't know where our defence was. Decent goal from Marmoush. He dinked the keeper, but the goals that they scored was just awful defending by Newcastle. And I don't know what was wrong today, and it'll be interesting to see what Eddie Howe says.
Yeah, I mean, from the start, we sort of sat back, didn't we? When we normally go and high press teams, I think we showed them too much respect. We're not playing, the Man City aren't the team they were. They're still a very good team, but we were really lethargic. We sat back where midfield was slack. Decision making by individual players. Trippier for the first goal, Bruno today for Marmoush's third wasn't tracking back. It was a really lacklustre performance, really disappointing. Bit like the weather today, crap, grey, cold, miserable, and it's just what worries me is that when we got to our last cup final, we went on a little bit of a bad run. And whether I don't know if it's that or not, if it's just because we were poor today, hopefully it's just a one-off. But we've got Forest next week, Charlie, and we need to improve because we'll get beat off them if we play like that.
Well, I think you said we sat back, which is correct, but I think there was not much else we could do because if we went and pressed Manchester City like we usually did, I still think they probably would have scored and hit us on the break. And then if that did happen, people would say, why haven't we sat back and went a bit more defensive? So I think there's two different sides to it, and I don't really want to blame Eddie Howe too much. I think today the players were a bit slacking. Today I think Bruno was slow. He wasn't really there, to be honest, in my opinion. I know this is controversial, but I don't think Bruno should be the captain. We saw when he got took off, he didn't look very, very happy. But to me, I think he doesn't really have much competition, and this is what I think's the problem, because Bruno knows that every game he's going to be pretty much guaranteed to start unless he injured, injured. And this is the issue that we've got, because it means that no matter how bad he plays, he's still probably going to play. And I don't know what you think about that, Dad, but I think that's an issue that we've got.
I think there was a lot of players under par today. Lewis Hall, he's been really, really good, but he looked a bit frightened of Savinho. There was times he was frightened of him coming inside in the box and getting his shot off. So he was showing him down the outside, but there was loads of space and he was able to get his cross in, and we showed them too much respect. We should have played with more energy, intensity. We should have played with more belief and confidence, and we didn't do that today, and we got punished. And when you concede 3 goals against Man City in a short space of time, it's going to be an uphill task. And he made his changes, and we did a little bit better in parts in the second half. But the game was gone then. It was, and it was just very disappointing. Howe won't be happy with the performance of the players and the fans that have travelled down to Manchester today. It's just not nice when you go and watch a poor performance like that.
One thing I wanted to mention is do you think things have sort of gone a bit stale because of the lack of signings and stuff?
It could have. I mean, it would have been great to bring a player in, but we haven't been able to do that. We've lost Miggy and Lloyd Kelly, and they've not been replaced, so it's really difficult. And with the cup games in 4 weeks tomorrow, isn't it? The cup final. So, is that in the back of players' mind? It shouldn't be. The professional, and we should be doing better. Man City's a very good team, but we didn't put up a good enough fight. It wasn't good enough today. We've got to regroup, learn from our mistakes today, and go and beat Forest next Sunday.
But that second half, honestly, it was one of the worst second halves ever. Like, I'd rather watch England play under Gareth Southgate, but it was just like, we knew from the start when Man City dominated possession that a goal for Manchester City was going to happen. But it was just, we let Marmoush have a hat-trick. No disrespect to him. He's a brilliant player. He's good signing for Man City. But it was just, the goals were just awful.
They were easy, the first one was a long ball by the keeper, wasn't it? And Trippier misjudges it and he gets in. To be fair to him, it's a really good finish.
Yeah.
The third goal, though, like I say, it was just really poor by Bruno not tracking back. I think it was the fourth goal where Tonali's marking McAtee, the substitute, and he just lets him spin him. It was too slack and it was really poor. It's not good enough, and the players need to do better in the next game.
But what went wrong? Was it the way we're set up? Shouldn't we have, been pushed back?
What went wrong for me is the attitude of the players. They didn't perform. There was too many individual errors. They were making the wrong decisions. You've got to go in with the right attitude. You've got to work hard. You've got to chase back. They didn't do that today, and if you don't do that in the Premier League, you get punished.
I think you're right, and the thing is as well, an interesting thing to talk about was the final third. In the final third, I thought Newcastle's decision-making wasn't great. There was quite a lot of times where Gordon had the ball and his decision-making was poor. He obviously took Willock off and made them substitutions at half-time. Willock didn't have a good game. Miley came on. He wasn't, to be fair to him, he wasn't really in the game too much. He did all right, to be fair, but I think the big question is would you consider dropping Bruno for the game against
he's got to see how they're doing training this week, how they respond, and then you look at your opponents and you think, right, what's their strengths and weaknesses and what are ours, and then you pick your team based on that. But, Bruno on his day is one of our best players.
He is.
So it's how do you get him playing like that again? He looked a bit tired today. Sometimes when I see him running, he looks slow, and I don't know if he's tired or if it's just the way he plays, but it was, he's a great player and we love Bruno. He's usually got a great attitude, but it's just, I think we miss Joe Linton in midfield. I think we miss his strength and his dominance in midfield. You can give him the ball, he holds it in tight spaces. Yeah. He's strong, he's physical. Yes, he's not the quickest, but he's a real rock in there. Yeah. And Willock looked a bit lost today. Tonali at times was all right, but then at times he wasn't.
Isaac was
Isaac didn't get much of a chance. He had that shot as well, which was unlucky, but, we need to do a lot better.
But do you not think there's the point I made about Bruno, do you not think that's a decent point? Because, of course, do you not think that Bruno, he thinks he's going to play every game, regardless of how bad he plays, which could affect his attitude?
I don't know that, but if people keep performing badly, they have to be dropped.
Exactly.
But whether he deserves to be dropped, I don't know. But we'll just have to see how it goes next week against Nottingham Forest. Hopefully, they're above us and we need to take 3 points off them.
It's going to be interesting, but there could be a lot of reasons as to why we didn't do very well today, whether it was because of the tactics, lack of signings. I think one of the main reasons, I think, is the team's gone a bit stale. I think due to the lack of signings, I think that's definitely hurt us a lot. And let's hope we can finally get the checkbook out and start trying to buy some players.
Yeah, we've got to regroup this week. You learn from mistakes and you put it right against Forest. You go out and you show them what we can do at home and hopefully beat them.
But anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. What do you think went wrong today? Get your comments down below. Would you drop Bruno? Who do you think was our worst player? And what's going on? Do you think the players are focused on the cup final? But I think that's no excuse because, like my dad said, they are professional footballers. They can't be distracted on things like that. But I think the problem is that he needs to rotate the squad more. He needs to change things up a bit more. I think the players who will keep playing maybe need to have a bit more competition on the bench. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Let's hope Newcastle can bounce back next game. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.